Hey everyone, welcome to this series with Schalke, where I'll be aiming to get them out of debt, back into the Bundesliga, and hopefully back into the European places down the road. Schalke is an interesting club that should be achieving a lot more than they have. They have size, they have a history in Germany, but they've taken a lot of missteps along the way, especially financially, that I wrote about for my website a few years ago. And when we switch the finances, we can see starting this, we're almost $11 million or 11 million euros in debt. So as we go forward, looking to achieve those aims of ultimately getting to the European places, we're going to have to be smart along the way. Schalke over time has made some pretty baffling decisions in the transfer market, and we're going to have to make sure that we don't do the same. In their debt, we're starting out with almost $260 of debt, so that's something we'll have to keep in mind over time, as well as anywhere we save some cash to allow them to pay some of this off would be beneficial. The aims from the club pretty much in line with what we'd want to do. We need to repair the financial damage. So far, doing okay with that. Need to get out of the Bundesliga too, and then remain in the Bundesliga down the road. In the transfer market, not really trying to do much at this point, given those money limitations. We're trying to bring in Youssef Amin. I think he'll be a real benefit for us down the road, potentially be a wonder kid. And we had our offer accepted for him, just waiting for the contract to be finalized. He may go out on loan this year, but I think potentially keep him around the squad. And if not, he'll definitely be in it next year. Outside of that, we've really only made a couple changes. Dejan Jovic, we're bringing in to be our secondary striker. We didn't really have a great plan off the bench, or if Simon Terrata got hurt, we would be in trouble. This gives us another option or the potential to go with two strikers at times. The only other thing we've done so far is Salif Sané. We did get him extended. He is a key player for us, especially if we get promoted to the Bundesliga. Has the potential to be one of our better players that deserves to be there. There is the chance, if we're doing okay when we get to the January transfer market, that we try to loan him out to a Bundesliga club to get us some wiggle room in our payroll budget. One of the things we've seen that has limited our ability so far has been the team cohesion. There's been a lot of turnover in the club, players going out on loan, bringing players in, and I think that's really limited our ability, especially going forward. When we look at our attacking output, doing okay in expected goals per game and shots, but not getting many on target, really not scoring much. Pass completion rate isn't great. You see it here. Terrata being aggressive with his shots, but not getting great quality. We've had a lot of shots from outside, a lot of headers from far out, and it's just not been resulting in goals for us. So we have changed our tactic a bit going into the next match. So we had been playing a 4-2-3-1, which obviously would be a little bit more aggressive. But what we are seeing is these back two in the middle, who should be a little bit stronger for us. We're struggling at times to mark. So even though we haven't been giving up goals, we've been giving up a lot of chances. So we are going to go to a 4-3-3, leaving Paulson as more of a defensive midfielder. Drexler's playing a little bit out of position here, but I think can play that advanced playmaker role from the middle. And then Salazar is our box-to-box. Two inside forwards. Bulter really has to step up. He hasn't been great so far this season, but for us to hopefully get our promotion, he's going to need to really be one of our playmakers, setting up Terrata up front. We are without our first choice goalkeeper right now, but so far that hasn't been an issue for us. The other thing we did in this new tactic is we did try to maybe slow things down a bit, not try to counter often. When we look at our comparison, you see physically pretty average across the board and below average in pace, so that's why we tried to emphasize that a little bit less. We are pretty high up in our jumping ability, but really hasn't translated much to winning our aerial battles so far. Can flip through pretty average in mentals and technical, maybe a little bit above average in technical. When we look through the parts of the squad, should be better at attacking, but again, really struggling for pace. So that's part of why we slowed things down, tried to just emphasize more of our off the ball work and hopefully taking advantage of our heading ability. Our midfield is definitely pretty average, so I think moving to the 4-3-3, having the three pretty balanced in there gives us a better chance to offset the fact that we're not great in that position. Then defensively, again, really strong in the air. Hasn't translated to performance so far, but hopefully we'll start to see that even out. And pretty above average overall. So I think we should be able to keep scoring low. It's just a matter of starting to get some of our chances into the net. So far this year, obviously got off on the wrong foot, losing to our second team. But since then, a win against Kiev in a friendly, have struggled a little bit in the league, but with just one win so far, but haven't lost yet. Have kept a decent amount of clean sheets, so not too bad, but not where we want to be right now. With our match still to be played, down in ninth, so win could take us all the way up potentially into the playoff spot. So let's go ahead and get into the next game, see if some of these tactical changes hopefully pay off for us. So there's our squad, as we talked about, going with the 4-3-3 in this match. Then they're going 5 at the back. I think it could be definitely difficult for us to break it down, but hopefully we can at least get one in and get some points on the board. Not much going on right now, but I do like how organized we're looking at the back. That's definitely been an issue so far, to stay organized, keeping everyone marked. Maybe a little bit more condensed than I would like, but it results in them having to pass it away. I think that was a pretty good sign for us and some of the changes we're looking to make. This, however, is not, obviously, and luckily to get that over the bar. Salazar, Skowski. I think those two interplay is going to be important between those two. We've had a decent run of getting attacking opportunities down the left, and we need to start seeing more of it coming down from that right-hand side. Murata, yes. That's a great side for us. One, the long kick, I think, maybe not our strong suit, but taking advantage of our height in the air, and then Coulter with a nice header down to Tirana, and we finally hopefully get him going, since him scoring goals is going to be key to us getting our promotion. It's a great simple play there for us. It's really worrisome for us, and it's something we've seen over time, is just letting too many people get behind our defense. It's something we need to shore up. Maybe it's something where we drop our defensive line, but don't want to give the opponents too much space either. You have Theo there. He is playing on cover to hopefully offset some of that, but I think it's something where our lack of pace is definitely hurting us in the back. Great interplay on the left there, results in another good header, but this one goes just wide. We can recycle this back into the box. Just wide again, but good opportunities for us so far. I would have liked to have gotten that on target, but can't complain overall with the performance up to this point. Great job by Drexler there, being back to provide support defensively. Nice 1-2 with Bluchers, but maybe a lack of communication there, lack of cohesion, just not having the players play off of each other. wasteful. Can't have things like that, especially when we're looking to increase our attacking output. That's just giving away what could have been a great chance. That was more worse than I thought it would be. I thought that would be an easy save for us. Ended up being pretty difficult and giving away the corner. Nobody gets their head on it, and just again, pretty worse. And nobody stepped up to the shooter. Not looking great right now. And I like some of what we're seeing, but I think we're going to make one change to the tactic right now. Session. We have been going a little bit slower just to try to play off and not having the pace, but going to move to standard and just make sure that we take advantages of opportunities when they're there versus just passing the ball around. Well, should have been another, probably up 2-0 there, but that's been really the story of our attack so far this season. Should have been a goal for Tirada that he just doesn't get the shot through. Yes, and Luther, I think what we saw there was another great opportunity to get our players involved, get the two wing forwards involved. Good interplay here between Raskowski and Zalazar. And ultimately, again, simple play, getting the cross in. Luther beats his man to the ball. But before our change took place, but I think we still will try to up the tempo. I think what's worrying me defensively is Kaminsky over at that left-hand side of the center. Seems like he's pushing up too much at times. Which definitely leaving us exposed behind him. Decent play there. Probably would have been better to try to keep passing it versus taking that long shot, but overall can't complain. A few minutes left in the first half. See if we can maybe get a third. Yes, Tirada with another simple play to Raskowski laying it off, and now all three of our forwards on the score sheet. Can't really ask for their course in that so far with our tactical changes. I think what we see, even though we went a little bit more defensively formation-wise, it's really freed us up to get out on the counter at times, but generally just to allow our forwards and our midfielders to be more attacking when we are stronger at the back organizationally. Obviously 3-0 up at the break. Definitely getting some luck in there. If we look at it, XG, only 0.75. But I think overall, getting good pressure down the right-hand side, which has been a good side for us, because generally in our performances it's been almost entirely focused on the left or a little bit through the middle. Maybe I'd like to see a little bit more down the middle, but obviously not to complain with this performance so far. And then, getting a good number of shots. And this is what I really like to see is when we look at Dusseldorf's shots, just really keeping them well to the outside. That's maybe it's adding up to 0.26, but most of these aren't going to have a chance of going in, where we do have that cluster right around the net, as well as our goals are relatively spread out, but I just like seeing this number of chances so close in. So you see there, he is definitely getting down the left, which isn't surprising based on his positionally where he is. Passes, maybe more going backwards than I would like. I'd like to see us pushing forward, but again, that's keeping us in possession. Just generally, I'd like to see passing around. No key passes so far, no clear-cut chances. Really, Luther's created the only clear chance so far. But 3 goals, I don't think we're going to change anything with the tactics so far. I think it's working, obviously. see if we can keep it up in the second half. Probably will make some subs along the way to get some players some game time. I think Dawes on a yellow card, so we'll probably get him off at some point just to avoid any potential issue there. Like give that until about the 55th minute, and then we'll take him off. We have a rotation of 3 center backs that we use, and I think we'll. Like second half. I mean, I'd like to get another goal, but boring half wouldn't be the worst thing for us given where we are in this match. We have pretty good organization. Not great letting that cross in, but I think we have 3 guys marking their attacker in the middle, so really no chance that he's going to get that shot through. Maybe the crew steps up to win that ball. If we can force most of our opponents at this level to keep passing the ball around, I think eventually we're going to win the ball back and we'll be fine. Just going to make another change here, just to bring on the Overlips to get him some exposure to the club. Just brought him in, so he hasn't played yet. But I think it'll be key to us going forward, especially if we ever do want to take the opportunity to get into a 2-striker formation. Almost had a chance to not go quickly there. Luther with another chance. I think it's a little bit off, but still good interplay between our forwards there. About 15 minutes left to go just to hold on to this. Probably take Trexler off in a little bit, playing out of position. See, maybe just pretty bad giveaway there by Luther, but probably got lucky there. Really poor job marking that man coming down there left, but doesn't result in any issues for us. We'll make a couple changes here while we have the chance. Bring up Flick. He's definitely not going to be in that same role. We'll just put him in a central midfield role here, just to try to see out the match. See, just a couple minutes of just seeing what another choice would be in the midfield for us, or if Drexler were to get injured or suspended, that we can see what options we have. All right, our full-time whistle. So a 3-0 performance in our first match with this tactic. Can't complain. 55% possession, 91% of our passes completed, which is up from what we've seen most of the year. Maybe we'd like to see us winning more corners, given our superiority in the air, and that we had it set on playing set pieces. But maybe there's a little bit of luck in our scoring, but still pretty dominant in our expected goals. And 3-0 performance most of all. Obviously not going to complain about that. Yeah, see, really our strength here was going down the right in that match. It's really where we saw the most. Didn't get much down the middle, even with the 3-man midfield, but if we can win down the wings, I think that's a pretty good situation to be in. I like the spacing here, that no one's too condensed. It really pretty much maps to what our formation is. Or if you look at their side, again, mapping to their formation, but a lot more condensed. You're really forcing them in, which is great for us, especially when we want to get down the wings. Didn't let them get that one opportunity, but even this is really their only shot close in, and we had probably 3 defenders, I think, right in front of that one, so not going to worry about it. Versus us getting quite a big number of chances right around the net. So we'll close out this one. Praise the team. Obviously, it's really strong performance from them. Nothing to complain about. And so I think we'll move on. Hopefully, we'll keep this. So I think we'll keep this formation uh, going forward. You can see we have loan offer in. It's a different player than the Sané we've talked about. I think next episode we'll look at how the transfer window closes out, and we have 2 weeks until our next match. So I think that'll be the focus on the next episode will be if we do anything at the end of the transfer window. I think we'll at least try to loan some players out, and then take a closer look at the club and what our expectations for them can be on a player by player basis. So look forward to talking to you next time.